Hi everyone, welcome. I hope this video finds you well. Take this short quiz to see how well you know one of the most important topics in French grammar for beginning students. So this is really important. This is based on our previous lesson, lesson 172. So if you haven't seen it, you can go back and watch that before you take this little quiz. So let's get started. Here's the scenario. You're conversing with native French speakers and you want to be able to express your thought just like that, right off of the top of your head. So how do you do that? Well, honestly, that comes mostly from practice, but also knowing how to use some simple grammar to your advantage. So here's the quiz. Here's number one. Here's the first item. By the way, a quick suggestion for practicing your writing, your spelling as well. Pause the video before I show you the answer, and on a sheet of paper or on some other device, type out what you think is the answer, and then play the video and check your work to see how you're doing. So we're going to work with the verb to draw in French, which is dessiner, dessiner. And my question is, do you know how with one verb form to say in French, I draw, I do draw, or I am drawing? Just one verb form is all you need. It's present tense. It's a regular ER verb. So the answer is je dessine. Je dessine. This means I draw, I do draw, or I am drawing. Remember that any verb form conjugated in the present tense can potentially have one of three different meanings. It just depends on the context. So the answer to the first one here is je dessine. This means I draw, I do draw, or I am drawing. Here are the examples. If someone asks you, what do you like to do in your free time, or what do you do in your free time more specifically, you can just simply say je dessine. I draw. That's what I do in my free time. If someone asks you the question in French, you don't draw, do you? You can counter that by, it's a negative question. You can say, oh, on the contrary, au contraire, je dessine. I do draw. I do draw. So this form can have that meaning. And the final context here is, if somebody asks you in French, what are you doing right now? You could simply answer by saying, je dessine. I draw. I am drawing. That's what I'm doing right now. Je dessine. Okay, so this one form is very powerful. It can have these three meanings. Let's try another one. So you get the idea of the quiz here. So the next one is you draw, you do draw, you are drawing. It's the informal you that I'm looking for here, the tu. So I give you that part, that much. Can you get the form right also? This is very important. The ending of the verb, you draw, you do draw, you are drawing, is tu dessines, you draw. You do draw, you are drawing, just depending on the context that I mentioned in the first one. Okay, another, you draw, you do draw, you are drawing. This is the formal you. And that is vous. Vous dessinez, vous dessinez. You draw, you do draw, you are drawing. Okay, here's the next one. He draws, he does draw, he is drawing. How do you say that in French? He draws, he does draw, he is drawing. One form. That's it. He, remember, is il, and then the form is dessine. Il dessine. Did you get the ending right? That's also important. That's part of the quiz. Be sure you know your endings. If you don't, go back and memorize them. Go back to my previous lesson, 172. They're very important. Okay, next question. We draw, we do draw, we are drawing. Okay, so the answer here is we draw, we do draw, we are drawing. Nous dessinons, nous dessinons. And again, pay attention to that ending. It's very important. Nous dessinons. One final question. They draw, they do draw, they are drawing. How do you say this with just one verb form in French? Il dessine, il dessine. And don't forget also, elle dessine, elle dessine. So if you got them all right, congratulations, félicitations. You are on the right track and you know one of the most important things that you need to know about beginning grammar in French. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this helpful, I would appreciate it very, very much if you'd give it a like. Consider sharing this with someone else who's learning French if you think it might be helpful to them. And as always, thank you so much, subscribers, for your feedback and your comments. And if you're ready to go on to the next lesson, click on the video that appears here on your screen. See you soon. À bientôt.